Hey everyone, today we're jumping into the brand new World Inequality Report. And let me tell you, this isn't just some dry report full of numbers. Nope, it's more like a high-resolution snapshot of our global economy. And it shows us exactly who's got the wealth, who's shouldering the burdens, and what that really means for all of us.
Okay, so let's start with the big question. Just how unequal has our world really become? The report paints this incredible picture of a planet that, yeah, has gotten richer overall, but where all that new wealth is being shared in a really, really unequal way.
Just take a look at this. When you dig into the data on wealth, the numbers are absolutely staggering. The top 10% of everyone on Earth, they own an unbelievable 75% of all the wealth on the planet.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. 3/4 of all the wealth is in the hands of just a tenth of the population. And meanwhile, the entire bottom half of humanity, we're talking billions and billions of people, is left with just 2%. It's a level of concentration that's honestly hard to even wrap your head around.
To really bring this home, I want you to focus on this one number with me. 56,000.
Yep, that's it. 56,000. That's the number of super rich people who, altogether, own more wealth than the poorest 2.8 billion people on Earth combined. As the report points out, you could literally fit all of them into a single football stadium. But, this massive gap isn't just about what's in your bank account. The report makes it super clear that this economic divide, well, it bleeds into pretty much every other aspect of our lives, from gender dynamics all the way to the climate crisis. Okay, take gender inequality. If you just look at the official numbers, women's hourly pay is about 61% of men's. But get this, when you factor in all the unpaid domestic work and caregiving that women do way more of, their actual hourly income plummets to just 32% of men's. That's a huge, often totally invisible disparity. And guess what? We see this exact same pattern of hidden inequality with climate change. The report found that the carbon footprint of someone in the global top 1% is on average 75 times bigger than someone in the bottom 50%. I mean, that's not just a little bit more, it's a completely different reality.
And here's the really cruel twist. The people who emit the least, they're the ones getting hit the hardest by the consequences. The floods, the droughts, all of it. So you've got this total mismatch of who's responsible and who's at risk, which creates a crisis that's just as much about social justice as it is about the environment.
Now, I know all of this can sound pretty bleak, but the report is really clear on one thing. None of this is inevitable. These are the results of policy choices, which means, and this is the important part, we can make different choices. So what can we actually do? Well, the report lays out this whole toolkit for building a fairer world. It's about big public investments in things everyone needs, like education and healthcare. It's about smarter programs to share wealth more evenly. And, this is a big one, it's about creating tax systems that are actually progressive and fair. Let's just zoom in on one specific idea that's really starting to catch on: a global minimum tax on the ultra-wealthy. We're talking about a coordinated way to make sure the world's richest people pay their fair share, no matter where they happen to park their money. So, what kind of a dent could something like that actually make? Well, the report crunched the numbers. A really modest 2% tax just on the wealth of the world's 3,000 or so billionaires could bring in around this much: $250 billion. And that's every single year. And why is that number such a big deal? Because with that kind of money, you could fund game-changing investments in public health, in education, in fighting climate change all over the world. It shows you this really powerful direct line between a fairer tax policy and real, tangible progress for humanity. So all of this leads to the report's ultimate conclusion, really. It's the path forward. And it's not about just one single policy. It's about a whole new way of looking at things. The authors put it perfectly with this one powerful idea. Inequality is not destiny, but choice. In other words, these huge gaps we're seeing today, they aren't some law of nature. They're the end results of decades of decisions, which means that new decisions can create a totally different future. So here's where the report leaves us. We've got the data, we have the tools, we have everything we need to have a real, informed, democratic conversation about the kind of world we want to live in. The only question left is, what are we going to choose?